Hi, hello, I'm Julian Greystoke. Welcome back to my couch. We're gonna do a tag today. Well, kind of a tag. I don't think it was actually intended to be like a tag, or at least the creator of it just kind of asked the questions and I think you're supposed to answer them in the comments, but you know what, I'm gonna do a whole video. The creator of this tag is Murphy Napier, whose channel I very much enjoy watching. She's a booktuber, so you know, she doesn't know I exist, but I'm still gonna answer her questions here. This is the My Bookish Preferences tag. So it's all about being a reader and what we prefer in the books that we read. So let's get right down to the questions. If you hear any rustling in the background, it's just the pets going about their daily lives. They don't care if I'm filming. The first one is, which type of perspective is your favorite? So first person, third person, second person. My personal favorite is third person limited. I don't mind first person either, and honestly second person can be intriguing if it's done well, but third person limited is what I write in and also what my favorite to read in. I like having that little degree of separation so you can get maybe a few more details that you wouldn't get from first person, but you're still very close with the character. The next question is, I'm going to be reading these off my laptop, that's why I'm looking off screen. Which format is your favorite? So hardback, paperback, audio, ebook, and she wants me to rank them even. So let's go backwards. I'm going to say ebook is my least favorite of all of them. I just don't really vibe with reading off of a screen. Absolutely nothing against those people who do find it easy to read off of a screen. I just personally don't. Next, I would say hardback. I like a good hardback for the way that they look, but they tend to be heavier, they tend to be harder to hold, and like when you get to a certain place in the book, like you're near the end, one side is way heavier and it's just like awkward with the hardback, plus dust jackets. You gotta leave the dust jacket on, take the dust jacket off. Next is paperbacks. I like a good floppy paperback. I like to be able to, when I'm reading, like bend the pages around, which probably makes some people very angry to see when I do that. And then finally, my number one choice, you guessed it, audiobooks. I love to listen to audiobooks. If you put all the different types of book in front of me and were like, consume a book in one of these ways, I would pick up the audiobook every time. I'm just really good, thanks to practice mostly, I'm just really good at processing information auditorially. By the way, if I ever say I read an audiobook and you have a problem with it, you're just gonna have to keep having that problem, because it's much easier to say I read the book than it is to say I consumed the book on audio. I'm just gonna say I read it, okay? Just gonna have to deal with that. The next question is easy. Do you prefer a character or a plot-focused book? Say it with me. Characters! If the characters are good, I will forgive so much in your book. But the characters have got to be solid. They have got to feel real. I have got to frickin' love them. And your book, the rest of your book can probably be trash as long as you can make me fall in love with your characters. Now don't get me wrong, plot is important to me too. I'm not really big on like literary fiction that's a bit more aimless, and I don't like something that's too slow. So I do like a book to have a plot, but I have to pick one or the other. Characters all the way. The next question is, do you care about prose? As a writer, yes I do, because I like to look at what other authors are doing with their prose, and prose can affect a book for me. I know that's not the case with a lot of people, especially people who are more readers, and go into a book not looking at it, trying to also, at the same time as they enjoy the book, learn from the book, which is my constant state whenever I consume a book. I am not only enjoying the story and the characters, but I'm also seeing what I can learn from the prose. What did the author do there? What did they do well? What did they do poorly? Just on a raw prose level. And I can even appreciate prose from an author whose story I'm not enjoying. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Stephen King, but I can look at his prose and go, man, sometimes I'll be like reading Stephen King and I'll just be like, just have to like set it down and be like, God damn it, Stephen King. Even if I'm not enjoying his story, I can see that his prose are good. So for me, it's a factor, but I know a lot of readers don't notice it so much. The next question is, how introspective do you like your characters to be? I don't like a lot of navel gazing. Some people love characters that are very in their own heads and like a lot of the story is just their dramatic thoughts. I would much rather get to know a character through their actions. I'm not saying never like make me privy to their thoughts and their angst, but to be honest, I'd rather see them interacting with their world and other people than I would just wallowing around in their head. The next question is, how do you like your relationships? Which makes me go like, what, hard-boiled, soft-boiled? I think it's just kind of like favorite relationships in stories. I prefer healthy ones. Give me cinnamon rolls every time. Give me cute established couples. Give me couples that haven't like decided they're getting married by the end of the book either. Like, let the relationship be slow. I love a slow burn. My ideal couples are ones that can turn out to be great teams together and maybe aren't just diving headfirst into a serious relationship. The next question is, do you like a lot of description? Medium. I don't want no description. Remember, all of your senses are important when you're describing, but I don't want too much. I don't want to get completely bogged down. However, I have found that I have a reasonably high tolerance for a lot of description, even if I might want less of it. I don't hate a book just if it has a lot, but eventually I might be like, okay, let's go, let's get on with things happening, please. Next question, do you prefer standalones or series? Standalones. I don't really love reading series. I just don't like that commitment of like a whole series, because there's so many opportunities when you're reading a series for it to fuck up and for you to hate it, and that's really disappointing if you're like on book 3 or 4 and all of a sudden it's bad now. Man, but I loved the first one. A standalone, you either like it or you don't, and then you set it down and you go away. I have a real problem with reading the first book in a series and then never getting to the rest of them, because my brain is always ready to move on. And for the most part, writing, I'm the same way, although right now I'm working on a series, so never say never. But yeah, I prefer to read a standalone. Single POV or multiple POV? I prefer single POV, but that's not to say I have a problem with multiple POV. I can easily and very often do enjoy multiple POV books. I just prefer single POV. And the last question is, if you could only choose one, would you prefer a strong beginning, middle, or end? Honestly, if I could only have one, I would choose middle, because we spend a lot of time in the middle of a book, and if it isn't engaging, like the middle is where I'm most likely to DNF. Because I'll work through a rocky beginning on the hopes that it'll get better, but if that middle doesn't step it up, book's going away.
Bye, Felicia.
And if I had to rank them, it would be middle and beginning. Like I said, I'll slog through a bad beginning if the rest of the book can be good, as long as the beginning doesn't last a super long time. I usually give the book several good chapters to get me. Beginnings are also very difficult to write and get right for every reader, so I understand why sometimes beginnings can be a little bit of a miss. The dog is snoring now, so if you hear any weird grunting noises, that's her. She's asleep. Her bed is right next to the couch. So those were my answers for this fun little non-tag. Maybe tags are so out of fashion that we don't call lists of questions tags anymore. I don't know. I'm never up on what's in fashion. But if you feel like filming this, I certainly won't stop you. Or if you just want to answer these questions in the comments below, naturally in the doobly-doo I will have the original video linked, so check that out if you're interested in seeing Murphy and her thoughts. And if you want even more content, you can hop on over to my Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get exclusive videos not seen here on the regular channel. Don't forget that you can check out my fantasy romance, The Wolf and the Hawk, for which I am already writing the sequel. It's available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and in audiobook, so that's exciting. You can follow me on all my social media linked in the doobly-doo, and I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Bye, Felicia.
It has come to my attention that there may be a few people left in the world who do not know who my patrons are, and this will not stand. My patrons are Belle, Anne-Sophie, Callison, Ray, Artemis, Shelby, Zaire, Jesper, Irene, Scribbling Cat, Savvy, Jenny, Amanda, Lisa, Sarah, Anna W., Anna C., Light Julie, O.S., Hidden Glade, and Persephone. There, consider yourselves educated on the best people in the whole world. You're welcome. Special welcome shout out finally goes to OS, who let me know that for their welcome shout out, they would love you to check out their DeviantArt. So head on over there, check out their art. It's really cool. Plus, they have opossum in their name, and you guys know I love opossums, so it's a double whammy, really. Go check them out. Links in the doobly-doo. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.